Well, hello everybody, welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making key lime pie. Now this uses key limes, which are small little limes which you really can't get in the UK, so I'm using the juice of ordinary limes. And for the base of the pie I'm using digestive biscuits, and I have 220 grams of digestive biscuits which I have processed to a fine crumb. You can do that in a food processor, or you can do it by putting them in a Ziploc type bag and hitting them with a rolling pin and such like until you've got crumbs. I have 85 grams of melted butter and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. In the US it's common to use graham crackers, I think, and if you're using those you might want to put some sugar in with them if they're not very sweet. Digestives tend to be quite sweet, so I don't need any sugar. And then for the filling of our pie, I have 1 can of condensed milk, which is 397 grams, that's about 14 ounces. I have 120 millilitres of lime juice. Now for me that's the juice out of 4 limes which weighed 300 grams before I zested them. And I have 5 grams of zest, that's 2 well packed teaspoons of the zest of the limes, and I have 4 medium egg yolks, which I'm just going to blend together like that. Now let's start with our base for our pie. Into our breadcrumbs I'm going to pour our 85 grams of melted butter and about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's just to give it a little bit more flavour. I think you can leave that out if you want, and mix that together until those biscuit crumbs, if I called them breadcrumbs earlier, I meant biscuit crumbs, are all nice and moist. And what we're going to do is line a 9-inch pie dish with these crumbs. Now I have the oven preheating at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 180 Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, and that's just going to bake this pie crust for 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, to allow it to firm up a bit. So once you've moistened all the biscuit crumbs, just pop them into the pie dish. And what you want to do is spread them out and press down from the centre really, because you want to make a lip around the edge as well. Okay, so when you've patted it down and you've made a rim around the edge, just put that in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And while that's in the oven, we can make the filling. So we'll put the lime zest into the eggs, and we'll pour in our condensed milk. I was actually reading how you can make your own condensed milk earlier today, so at some stage I may actually try to do that just to see how it turns out. And once you've got that in, mix it together with the eggs and the zest to get them all combined. And then pour the lemon juice in. And mix that until it combines. Now it might look as though it's going to curdle, but if you keep on mixing, it will all get combined. I can see some biscuit crumbs there. Let me just get rid of those. Now you don't need to mix this overly, just you want it combined. So that's ready for our pie crust, but we have to wait for that. So I'll be back with you when I've taken the pie crust out of the oven and allowed it to cool. And at that point I'll reduce the oven to 325 Fahrenheit. That's 160 Celsius or 140 Celsius with a fan. And that will be ready to bake our pie once we put the filling in. Okay, so I've baked the crust in the oven for 12 minutes, and now it's a question of pouring the condensed milk, egg and lime mixture into the pan, into the pie, sorry. And that's filled it quite nicely. So then that goes back into the oven, which is now at 325 Fahrenheit. That's 160 Celsius or 140 Celsius with a fan. I'm going to bake that for 10 minutes so that it's cooked, but it's just wobbly in the center. I'll take it out, allow it to cool completely, then put it in the fridge for 2 hours. Then I'll be back with you to show you the result. Well, welcome back everybody. So it's now the next day. I left my key lime pie in the fridge overnight, and I've actually sliced it and taken it out of the pie dish. To try to turn it out of the pie dish with a crumbly pie crust like that wouldn't be a good idea. And as ever, the very first slice is always the most difficult to get out, so I lost a little bit in the middle there. But it's set up quite nicely. Now I should say that very often people like to top this with whipped cream or serve it with whipped cream. Some people even use the egg whites to make a meringue and put the meringue on top and bake that. But for me, I'm just going to try it without anything else. Oh, that is so refreshing on a hot day. And in England we have a hot day today. Hot for us at least, it's going to be up to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21, 22, 23 even Celsius, so it could go up to 75. But that is just, oh, so lovely and creamy with the condensed milk, and tart with the flavour of the limes. Very good indeed. I'll have another little try. Yeah, that is very good. Now you could do this in a springform pan if you wanted to. Maybe just make the base without the sides and then put the filling on top, and that would come out quite nicely. Well, that's it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me the thumbs up and click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. There'll be a link to the recipe below the video, and as ever, there'll be the eye in the top right hand corner of the video that you can click to get to the recipe as well. So I will be back with another video in the very near future. Until then, happy baking.